I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Tuesday, March 15th. News headlines from Arkansas and elsewhere. I think everybody's talking about presidential primaries today. It's another Super Tuesday, and Ohio and Florida appear to be the key states. Will Florida go for Donald Trump and drive Marco Rubio out of the race? Rubio says for his part, he's not leaving regardless. Will John Kasich carry his home state of Ohio, beat Donald Trump, and become the third person who's the establishment choice to not be Donald Trump as the Republican presidential nominee? Bernie Sanders is making gains on Hillary Clinton in Midwestern states. Missouri, Illinois, Ohio are to be challenged today. Florida's there, North Carolina's there. The end of the night could be very exciting. Some results are already in. The Northern Mariana Islands have gone for Donald Trump. He got more delegates there for about 4,000 or 5,000 votes than he got for 1 million votes in Michigan, which kind of indicates how upside down the process is in some respects. Elsewhere in the news, late yesterday, after we'd taped this segment, on Monday, federal judge Christine Baker extended an injunction against the state of Arkansas for continuing to enforce a new 2015 law that was intended to stop medication abortions in Arkansas. It required a medical protocol for dispensation of the drugs that is viewed as not a good way to do it by the entire OBGYN community. It also said that clinics that dispense these drugs had to have a doctor with hospital admitting privileges, something that they couldn't do because doctors fear being associated with Planned Parenthood, which provides these pills at 2 locations in Arkansas. The judge said, based on evidence she's heard so far, that the statute clearly seemed to mean the end of the availability of these type of abortions to a number of women in Arkansas, and therefore was unconstitutional burden in the early stages of pregnancy. These pills are only given up to 9 weeks. There'll be more evidence, but for the time being, that's another state law, another anti-abortion law that has now been rendered ineffective by the federal courts. Speaking of courts, President Obama is expected someday this week to announce his choice for the U.S. Supreme Court to fill the seat vacated by the death of Antonin Scalia. He seems to be pointing towards somebody that's won broad approval from Republicans in the past, a mainstream person that couldn't be challenged on credentials or even political liabilities. Polling shows that the public is tired of obstructionism. They're tired of the Republican promise to block the appointment no matter who it is. However, the Republicans' obstruction process in the past hasn't hurt them in Congress. They've continued to gain seats while President Obama was president. I don't think they really care what the people think as far as this goes. Obstructionism seems likely to win the day, but they didn't think Obama could pass a health care bill, and he did, so we'll see. The Pulaski County school districts are on their way back to having a school board again. They've begun talking this week about what to do when they regain control. One thing's an $80 million building project to rebuild Mills High School and to rebuild schools out in western Little Rock, to have a new middle school for Joe T. Robinson. Interestingly enough, the paid lobbyist for the Walton family, who supports charter schools in Little Rock and hates all thing about conventional public school districts, says it's just not makes sense for the Pulaski County School District to rebuild Robinson Elementary, middle school that is. They should combine with Little Rock and have fewer schools out there. This is the same person that talks about duplicating school administrations and facilities time and time again for charter schools, particularly when they all locate out in upscale western Little Rock, where white students and upper income students predominate. Charter schools don't like competition when they get it. They want competition to be in their favor. Last night on South University Avenue in Little Rock, sort of unsettling news. A driver had a wreck with another car. It turned out the driver had been shot in the head while driving. They're not sure why. The police have a few details at this point. And in the macabre story of the day, I guess we'd have to look to South Dakota, where they've discovered a body in a freezer, apparently that of an Arkansas woman who'd been shipped up there by her son, perhaps, they think, to continue to receive Social Security payments for her after her death. He's dead now himself as well. On that news, we'll turn to TV and wait for the election results. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.
You feel it in your heart. The spirit of Little Rock. We've had that spirit since 1927, helping build our city by producing decades of leaders in the heart of our state. We are the heart of business and innovation, the heart of politics and government, the heart of arts and culture, and in our city beats the heart of a Trojan. UALR. We are Little Rock's team and Little Rock's University.